The Baylor football spring finale was closed to you, the fan. Allow me to open the doors for you. This is Locked On Baylor.
You are Locked On Baylor, your daily podcast on the Baylor Bears. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to another episode of Locked On Baylor, brought to you by Monopoly Go. I am your host, Cam Stewart of ESPN Central Texas, thanking you for making this your first listen today and every day. We've had plenty of basketball news this week, but we did have the Baylor football spring finale. Don't call it a spring game, spring finale happen over the weekend. And we as fans didn't get to go to it. So it was only open for a select few of the media. And one of those was the great Matt Mosley, who is the other co-host on the show that I'm on, the Matt Mosley Show on ESPN Central Texas, weekdays 3 to 6. And if you know Matt, you know he's long-winded. He takes a copious amount of notes. He has got the lowdown on all of these guys heading out there, and he even got to learn some things about this Baylor football team on Saturday. So without any further ado, let's toss it to my interview with Matt Mosley to hear all about what happened at the Allison Indoor Practice Facility in Baylor spring finale. Here with Matt Mosley of the Matt Mosley Show on ESPN Central Texas, weekdays 3 to 6. If you're interested, that also features a young, handsome, Locked On Baylor host as well. But Matt, you were actually at the spring finale this past weekend. And the last time, first off, welcome back to the show, because the last time we had you on, you were breaking news about Gary Patterson. And now you are reporting on a Gary Patterson special, which is a spring game that becomes a practice that is behind closed doors for the most part. But you were there on Saturday. First off, how did you like the whole format of it being a practice, a finale, rather than a game?
You know, and I want to be careful because, I understand that some fans were looking forward to this. I mean, it ended up being an extremely messy day, Cam. I mean, my drive to Waco and back from Waco, I mean, it was ugly. So
like nonstop, wasn't it?
Nonstop
rain.
Because I think some people will see. I noticed the UT had theirs, and it looked like the weather was kind of okay. It was not in Waco. So I don't want it to be like, a lot of times you call something off and the weather looks great and you're like, okay, why do we call off? Now, I thought the actual tempo and in the whole scene of the practice. Now, again, I don't think they were trying to show everything, but I do think we saw enough from a pass rushing, from a quarterback, from receivers, running backs, tight ends, enough just to kind of see some flashes. I would say there was nothing in this practice that I could say, oh, man, I feel better about the offensive line. Now, I can tell you the younger Siraki brother, on one particular one-on-one buried somebody. Of course, what's funny is I thought it worked. To answer your question, I thought, and I think they'll probably just do it this way from now on. So the thought of the old spring game, it's going away. Now, maybe if the weather's nice, fans could come out and watch an actual practice. Maybe that'll happen. But Dave was very upfront with his comments on why they didn't do it or why they didn't do the normal TV and streaming. And basically he said, we sit there when somebody else has a game and we break it all down and scout it. And, of course, they look at those players. And I think Baylor does have some pretty talented boys, especially at wide receiver, linebacker, and running back room. That I think if you just put these things out there, I'm sure people are like, I wonder if we reached out to this guy.
Yeah.
So I kind of get it. Why you would want to do it a little different way. But
I was going to ask about that too, Matt. Sorry to interrupt you, but I was going to ask about that. I don't want to spend all day of, hey, why didn't they do a game? But I heard an interesting point before Saturday of, hey, the portal is open right after spring games. You could have a second or third receiver have a big spring game, and it might seem silly, but he can get an offer out of that. Is that something that you buy into as well?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's accurate.
Yeah.
And we may get to a point where the only ones who do it, actual full-blown spring games, are like the SEC and Big Ten, because there's some belief that the players they're putting out there want to be there, well compensated, and that nobody's like, I'm going to slide in here and take these players away from you. I think there's enough that the SEC and the Big Ten, I'm not saying all coaches have this in them about not trusting. And then I think it's fair to wonder, too, if Dave's leaning on, Gary Patterson for a lot of things. I mean, Gary would always err on the side of not showing things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Streaming it, having a big open practice, whatever. I mean, I think Gary would always say no. Now, I'll tell your audience something, and I'm going to share it with our radio show tomorrow. Mondays from 3 to 6, you can hear the Matt Mosley show with Cam Stewart. But I think there's something interesting brewing. I was reminded of a closed TCU practice, perhaps like back in heading into the 2014 season, and like the offense, apparently, from the people I've talked about, like never scored. You want a spring game, you want to at least score one touchdown, right? And the first team defense just stoned them. And I thought that was interesting to get that frame of reference, because that ended up being one of the greatest TCU offenses of all time.
Yeah. So
I say that to kind of temper some of the things that showed up in this practice. Now, we'll say, some of the people who went to that dinner the other night, and by the way, I saw some people that went to the dinner. We had Jeremy Fudge on, and they got a special tour, and they had the dinner, and then everybody got to see the new Fudge Development Center that Baylor's going to use. And, boy, they're going to have beautiful locker rooms. They're going to have beautiful spaces, meeting rooms. I mean, like, everybody will be able – it's going to be a real state-of-the-art, maybe the best in the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
But Cam, I kept saying, they're going to have musical talent.
They got a treat, yeah.
Well, our old buddy Gary Patterson got on his guitar, and was the musical talent that night.
Yes, man.
Now, as we record this, we've got a major Mavs game getting ready to start. So you take me wherever you want, but I will say I did kind of put pencil to paper. I've even got the roster with me. So if you want me to hit a few things, like there's even a couple of these transfers that I'd kind of forgotten about that did grab my attention. And there's a kid from one of our buddies from Lorena who I kind of forgot, hey, he's already on the team. I forgot that some of these guys are already over there working out with the team and will be eligible to play as true freshmen. And I've got thoughts on quarterback. So you take it wherever you want to take it. But I'm just saying, happy to weigh in on some of these things.
Yes, let's do that. We are at the end of spring football season, but boy, we are right in the best time of year for NHL and NBA, and the playoffs and baseball is in full swing, and FanDuel is your place to bet on every game. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed. That's $150 win or lose. Bet on everything from the slap shots to the home runs to slam dunks, all on an app that is safe, secure, and so easy I can make money off it. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make your first bet an automatic win. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Matt, I know you always have the notes ready to go at this kind of thing. And I know you've taken diligent notes on this. I do want to start with quarterback. I know it's not the biggest issue on this team, but it is still a question mark. And I want to know what you saw from quarterback, because we've heard Dave throughout this preseason. He's seen positives for each of the two guys. I'm not including RJ Martinez in this. I'm going to just stick with DeQuan Finn and Sawyer Robertson. So what did you see from the quarterback battle on Saturday?
Well, I don't know how much of a battle it is. I keep coming back to the fact that if you pay a nice amount of money for somebody to come in like a DeQuan Finn, I mean, it's hard. But, Dave's got to weigh this thing. He said he was going to take a couple of weeks. I don't know if they're going to let this competition go into the summer. I mean, I think it might be smart to do that in a sense, because it's not like you. I think they like Sawyer Robertson a lot, and I think you'd love him to stick around. And of course, if you make this decision too quickly, you are going to give him, or DeQuan, by the way. Now, DeQuan, again, to me, he's here. He's been brought in. I will just say this. After watching one entire practice, Robertson throws, I mean, it's all there, right? He may be he may be faster than Finn.
Okay.
The deep balls, as we even saw last year, are gorgeous. I mean, he spins it.
Yeah.
And the arm's there. So they can do a lot of things with him. But as Dave continues to say, I don't think DeQuan probably, his arm angle and the deep ball and everything may not look as pretty as Sawyer's. But I had one, and not just one, so I don't want it to be like, oh, I know who's Mosley's friends with. No, I had more than one. I wondered to myself, like, is DeQuan, like, what are we looking at here? Like, obviously he can move around. Like, what I was not, and I didn't get to see this with my own eyes. I'm going off with what some people are shedding light on about DeQuan. He throws the ball fine. And I loved watching him. He's number 12 out there. He made some great deep throws. There's nothing wrong with the way he delivers the ball. The key is this is going to take this O-line a while to gel, and it may not be ready for prime time even in week one. So let me tell you what this guy has. What I think DeQuan, the more I dig in on him, he is elusive as all get out. So while he might not have like top end speed of even Sawyer or some other quarterbacks we might think of, like as far as when a play breaks down, like I'm saying, get Gary out of your mind. Gary could run and do some really nice things.
And he could barrel people over. Like he could run defenders over. Yeah.
Now this guy is listed at 6'2", 210. He doesn't look quite that big to me. But the name I kept kind of hearing is Boykin from 2014.
Hey, now I was wondering about this. Go ahead. Okay.
Yeah, and
it seemed like a decent enough analogy or comparison, I should say, with the arm strength and all of that.
Extremely elusive. The arm strength is fine, and again, that guy was like in the Heisman running that year. Okay, so I don't want to go overboard, but I saw enough and I heard enough, like from just kind of talking to different folks that this is your starting quarterback. Like it would be a shock if they don't go with DeQuan Finn. And oh man, he from a leadership standpoint, I think he's got some Gary. From some athleticism standpoint, he's got some Boykin. And that's been a while.
That's a pretty good combo, man.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good combo right there.
But the thing about Boykin is
a lot of wins.
If he won a lot of games, but he also, man, he could get out of some stuff and get you into some stuff, right? And so this is not, you will not find this on other networks, okay? I saw some boys out there taping some things yesterday. I like it when people like tape stuff like while the players and coaches are like being interviewed. It's kind of like what we have to say is way more important than what any of these other people
I definitely get that. Yeah,
could possibly have to say. Anyway, I get a kick out of it because I actually like the two guys that were doing it. But I kind of like that attitude. It's kind of like, you know what? Who wants to talk to these players when
the
we
people
could
want to hear from me?
When we could record something ourselves.
Right,
yeah. Okay. Now the game, we're at Mavs tip-off as we record this at 2:30. So can I hit you?
Curtain.
Can I hit you with a? Oh, do you not do that? Do you not let people know?
No, I always peek behind the curtain.
Oh, okay.
I always peek behind the curtain.
Can I give you just a quick like boom, 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 some bullets on what I saw?
Please.
Okay. I think Carl Williams pulled a hammy.
Oh,
he's going to be out for a couple
that's one of your
weeks.
guys.
Yeah, I love him. He's going to be a good safety.
And a big part of that defensive backfield, which is one of the only units we're like sure about in a good way.
There's a safety who moved in from Western Kentucky named Kendrick Simpkins.
Yeah. Rodney Harrison prototype. Yeah.
Player. He's going to be okay.
Okay.
Now, Caden Jenkins at cornerback, he's what we thought he was. He is
Elite.
what he oh yeah. He was the only guy. By the way, that's what you worried about because the receivers were making a million plays out there, and you're like, hey, is anybody ever going to cover these guys?
Right. Is that a positive or a negative?
Yeah. But and honestly, in these kinds of one-on-one situations, it really favors the offense. And they're going on all these deep balls. So again, it was fun to watch, but I didn't there's a kid from Caden's brother is named Cameron Jenkins from Louisville by way of UNLV. Good. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Now, Tevin and Bobby were out there. Bobby and Tevin, they were out there. Tevin was, I'm just hoping it's just like, hey, he's a steady Eddie. No big deal. They were running by Tevin pretty aggressively. But, again.
Safety help. Okay.
Tevin will be okay. One-on-one with like Monterey and these guys is not a great situation for him, but he'll be fine once the season starts. Devin Bobby, fine. Okay, there's going to be somebody.
We're feeling good about that unit. We're feeling good about that defensive backfield.
The guy coming, however you say this guy's name, the big time comer, he may not be ready yet because he's a true freshman. From Arlington Bowie High School, Chris Wokema.
Mm-hmm.
Going to be good. And
That's
was out there moving around, doing some things I liked. Okay, massive things to think about on offense. Hal Presley making plays in traffic, doing some good things. Practice ends, which you may have seen video of this, with a monstrous catch by my man Micah Gifford.
Mm-hmm.
Micah is from Pflugerville Weiss High School. Or do you say Weiss?
I think it's Weiss,
Yeah.
From Friday Night Tykes fame.
Like German we'd say, or like Holland or wherever that would be. We say Weiss.
I think that'd be German, yeah.
Weiss.
Adel Weiss, yeah.
Pflugerville Weiss. Whoa. Okay. We like him and we like some of the things he's doing. Now, from a transfer standpoint, get pumped up. I don't know why Nevada didn't use him even more. He put up a big game against USC. Monterey is usually by far the fastest guy on any practice field.
Yeah.
There's a new sheriff in town.
No way. Someone's faster than Monterey Baldwin?
Jamal Bell can flat out go.
You can't teach that, Mosley. You cannot coach that.
So you do have kind of some mighty mites out there. And so more to come on the Mosley show tomorrow. But not only he was jumping up, making contested catches, but also, and he's a great kick returner as well. Mm-hmm. But I'm just telling you, I have no clue when Nevada used him as a receiver. Nobody could cover him, and he made USC DBs look like they were nothing. In that game, he had like 120, 130 yards, had a deep ball that he caught for a touchdown, like crazy fast.
Now, I've been told by many people, Matt Mosley included, that I am a competitive person. Do you guys believe that? Are you kidding? Okay, yeah, I do have a bit of a competitive side. We all do, I think, right? And my competitive side is a big fan of Monopoly Go. Now, I know you've heard of it. It's been downloaded over 150 million times. It is a great twist on Monopoly when you play on not one, but hundreds of the Monopoly boards in the crazy locations, building up amazing cities that bring you the big bucks. But the best part, messing with friends, of course. I can charge them rent on my properties just like Classic Monopoly, but now I can also heist their halts for myself. And the leaderboards show me who the biggest Monopoly tycoon is. But it's not just my competitive side that loves it. It's my friendship side too. You could team up with your friends and people all around the world in time tournaments to earn huge rewards. So get in the game and join your friends. Download Monopoly Go now for free on the App Store and on Google Play. Today's episode is also brought to you by Gametime. Now, y'all know how much I love being at the ballpark, love being at the arena, the Coliseum, whatever it may be for my favorite sports teams, concerts, comedy shows, all of that. But I hate the way ticket buying has become everywhere but Gametime. Because when I go to Gametime, I go in there and I see all in pricing. What I see is what I get. No hidden fees. They're not doubling the price on you after you hit, yeah, I want to purchase it. You can go in there. You can see the view from your seats. You know which deals are the best, and you get the all-in pricing. They also have zone deals and flash deals going on throughout the week. Most of these games that or events you can buy right up till the start of the game, and sometimes even as the game or the concert is going on. It's the best place for last-minute tickets. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDONCollege, LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. So download the Gametime app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed.
Hal Presley's good. And, oh, by the way, and he got tweaked. He tweaked something at the end of they never addressed it. But Josh Cameron is great. And Catron, by the way, it's not Keytron anymore. Catron was out there making good plays. He's a big receiver. You know, hopefully this year they can't focus on him as much, and he can do some things for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they were able to key on him pretty easily last year.
I like him for sure. Jaden Porter, the freshman, true freshman out of Lorena, fast as all get out. Cameron Bonner, nice player, makes plays. I think they're kind of deep.
Every receiver's good. I like this.
But hopefully you're hearing me give you a little extra on certain receivers.
Yes. Yeah, I think we could, decipher.
So another Mighty Might. So right now, I've got them with three like unreal slot type guys. Ashton Hawkins is awesome from Texas State. Like, he's great. He's physical. He's not every guy that's little doesn't have to be like, oh, he's a speedster. He's not going to make a contested catch. This guy will get in there and battle you and beat a defensive back. He's little, but he's physical. He's only 5'10", 170, but he's a physical dude. So Ashton Hawkins, Jamal Bell,
yep.
And then Monterey, of course. You got three mighty, and then throwing Neighbors. Is that my man's name? Yeah.
Yep. You can finally stretch a defense vertically there.
Yeah.
It's not just Monterey that can be a burner out there.
Yeah, but don't be afraid to throw that little screen, man.
Right.
Get them out in space.
Yeah.
Bell had some handoffs at Nevada. Like, we're talking like jack of all trades. Now, real quick.
And that would be real good for this style of offense they're looking at. You know, that Briles style, there was a lot of horizontal attacking just as much as there was vertical.
Yeah. I think my man Kelsey, who I like, Kelsey Johnson, must be banged up. I didn't see him. The big tight end who's kind of nice is that Matthew Kloftenstein.
Yeah.
Kloftenstein from
however you say it.
Scottsdale. Yeah. No, I love it when you correct me, even if you don't know.
That's just throwing stuff at the wall.
Yeah. Matt, it's Kloftenstein. I like somebody named Polly too.
Hawkins Polly?
Yeah. You know, he got out and made a nice play in space at tight end, made a really nice catch. And then, of course, our man Gavin Yates continues to be a nice target. So I would say Hawkins Polly, big dude, redshirt freshman out of Stratford High School, makes some good catches. He and the Klopp
the Klopster
are big, great targets.
Kloppo.
Whereas our man Gavin likes to kind of race on down the field and might be able to be a kind of a matchup problem for some folks. And then there's one dude I was going to mention to you that I have no clue about, but he's real tall, and he's listed as a receiver. He's a transfer from Redlands Community College, and his name's Seth Weller.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of like him. So I would say, if you're going to say, like, who are the good groups, Matt? Like wide receiver, running backs look great. I mean, they're going to apparently, and of course, they couldn't show it in this thing because they didn't do any 11-on-11, and 7-on-7 is not really a great look for running backs. But one of my insiders, when it comes to Richard and Dom, okay, Dom Richardson and Richard Reese, threw out the old fire and ice and said it reminded him of, this is more for your age range and even my age range and younger, Lindell White and Reggie Bush back in the day. That's kind of
that is some real thunder and lightning, man. Yeah, I'm probably just the cutoff of that, Mosley. Probably younger than me, might not remember. But that's Lindell White, who could always get a yard for you on short yardage until it was the national championship game against UT. But that's one of the lethal backfields of my generation.
And I'll just leave you with this tease.
Can't wait.
They're going to go in the portal, and I be watching that running back portal, because even though they're kind of stacked right now at running back, there's somebody out there that's kind of got my attention. That's all I'm going to say. Just
okay.
Give that a look. Give the running back. Now, two quick things, or one quick one. If you're like, Matt, do they have any pass rushers? Because somebody will end this and go, Mosley, they must not be good on this. They must not, because we don't have time. DK Kalu, the son of the great Indy Kalu, who played at Rice and then went on with the Texans, from Missouri City, Texas, had a gorgeous spin move that I loved. And then I think they're really good at linebacker. Two names to keep in mind for people that have had great springs. I'm not necessarily even saying they had a great practice. I don't know. I wasn't watching the linebackers that closely. But my insiders tell me Jackie Marshall, 6'3", 265, number 35.
Gonna line up on the edge there.
Just keep an eye on him.
Position of concern, so he's going to be a big asset, hopefully.
Just keep an eye on him, and then in person, that huge kid from Tech does look good. Steve Linton.
Yeah,
like I looked out at him.
He plays well at McLean.
I almost called to wave Steve over. Well, security was watching me pretty closely, by the way.
Good.
Even as I was walking down the sideline, Mac Rhodes turns to try to say hello to me, and I'm still I got this presence like in my face, like, keep moving. I'm like, what if the AD says hi to me? Can I stop to say hello to him? But the security was doing its job. Kudos to Brent Ingram and his crew, because I'm sure the coaches would have loved to. Coaches are wired that way. Shut the practice down, go, sorry. And because it was a spring game and they'd already changed it from a game, I don't know this to be true. I'm part of this I'm making up. But I kind of sense that Ingram dug in a little bit and was like, the media, we've talked about this. We need to get them involved. And so he didn't tell me that, but I kind of sense that. So I'm not easy to work with from a media standpoint, because I never get enough, and I'm always pushing, and I can annoy people in that way. But I thought that was good. I thought what we got to see was really helpful to the media, to the assembled media. All in all, a good day. The one linebacker I really love talking to, who just seems like the nicest guy ever. He played at West Virginia and then went to Northeast Mississippi community college. Not really sure what all that was about. He transferred in. His name's Keaton Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of a starter, leader, kind of like, and like literally, I mean, it's like going around to different coaches, like, can you show me film of this? And what did y'all do when you were here? And when you were at this other place? Like big time, and not kind of in a Eddie Haskell way, but big time, like student of the game, but also just kind of ooze leader. It was like Keaton stepped in front of the cameras and was just kind of like, hey, man, not only am I just massively cut, but like I'm probably going to be a guy that whoever that former Baylor linebacker that's a senator now or whatever, or a congressman, like this, he had that kind of the presence about
Gotcha.
it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is that All Red you're thinking of?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I got to watch it. If people think we're getting political, like, no, I'm not. I'm not endorsing him. I'm just
You've been accused of that before.
Let's not. Yeah, let's not.
I'm going to put that in the YouTube SEO, though. Next Colin Allred suiting up for Baylor, and it's going to get a ton of views. So I appreciate that.
Don't get me grief by making it too much about Gary. Don't choose that angle. Just maybe.
No, but I will use the Boykin one.
No, but don't even lead with I saying he's Boykin, because that's too TCU related. Yeah, no. Stick with Mosley provides, tremendous spring game nuggets, spring finale nuggets, just something pretty generic.
Mosley's going to really drive the search engine, I'm telling you.
Mosley hints at, the Mosley provides the breakout player of camp. And if you're wondering who that is, I think I got him as Jamal Bell. I had someone say to me, hands down, he's the best of every wide receiver. Don't even qualify it.
Bang. End with that because we're pressed for time. Jamal Bell, best receiver on the team, just like that. Baylor 15-0 upcoming.
Yeah, but I wouldn't lead with that though. But I wouldn't put that in your headlines.
Devil's in the details. I'll bury it a little bit. Okay, Matt Mosley, thanks so much for joining. Weekdays 3 to 6, ESPN Central Texas, centexsportsfan.com. You can hear the other Matt Mosley show with me alongside. We will be breaking down probably most of the week. I mean, we'll have a little bit of this, I'm sure, throughout a couple of days this week, talking about spring football and hopefully up for Jeremy Roach and some of the transfer portal too. But Matt, appreciate you joining.
You bet. Hope my camera lens seems a little bit, I wish it was a little clearer, the quality, but great to be with you, Cam.
Very special thank you to Matt Mosley. Plenty of information in there. Matt is the best in the business covering this team. I guarantee it, man. And he likes what he sees. And look, Mosley ain't one to pull punches. So he does like what he sees out there from the skill positions, especially from the receivers who have stayed on the Baylor football team. And I love that. As much as he loved Javon Gibson, sorry, Matt, he's out the door. Anyway, let me know what you thought about his overview of the team. Let me know what you thought about that Trevon Boykin comparison. I actually don't think that's that far off. I might talk about that a little bit later, whether they need to go for a running back in the portal and just what you expect specifically out of this offense. Is it going to be as fast and as exciting as it could be? I don't know. Drop that down in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe. Ring that notification bell for whenever we drop a video. You can find us on YouTube or wherever you find your podcasts. And thank you for making us your first listen today and every day. We will be back tomorrow with more Locked On Baylor.